Hello, welcome to another edition of my vlog. In this vlog, I will be talking about self-respect. To give an example, if you are someone who watches pornography, then what you're doing is wrong because by watching pornography, you lose your self-respect. So we have to gain self-respect, and this goes for every sin. I mean, you are too important to sin, to give in to sin. And sin isn't worth it. You are far too important to sin. And by that, I don't mean that we should be arrogant. I am not saying that. But what I am saying is that made in the image of God, we are supposed to be creatures of reason and virtue. We are raised above the animal kingdom. So by sinning, you are reducing yourself. In fact, by sinning, you are worse than the animals because at least animals act according to their own natures, yet you are acting against your nature. So when it comes to sins, no, don't give in to sin because sin is low. I mean, it's very low to give in to sin. And you are far too important to give in to sin because you were made for eternity. You were made to be in union with God. You are made in His image, and so you are something in God's eyes because you are made in His image. You are godlike and you are an intelligent creature, more intelligent than the animals. You can reflect and think about things. You are able to think about the cosmos and life and the purpose of life. You are beautiful in God's eyes because you are made in the image of God, yet there you are fooling around with things like pornography. So don't give in to sins and don't give in to passions, because if you give in to sins and passions, you are destroying yourself. I mean, sin is basically missing the mark. When you sin, you are not reaching your true potential. You are not living the way you should live. And that is sin. So by sinning, you are destroying yourself. And by giving into passions, you are destroying yourself. And we can't be like Jesus Christ if we sin because He was and is sinless. And so if we sin, then we are not being conformed to the image of Jesus Christ. And in the Christian life, you can either move backwards or forwards. You can't remain in a kind of static state. No. So by sinning, you are moving backwards. By giving into vice, you are moving backwards. By giving into passions, you are moving backwards. And by failing to resist temptation, you are moving backwards. So don't give in to sin because you mean an awful lot to God. You are precious in His sight, even if you aren't a Christian, because we are made in His image, and we can all be united to God through the process of theosis and deification. We are all able to be gods by grace, but not gods by nature, but gods by grace. And so don't give in to sin, because you were made for far, far more. You were made to be one with God and one with His Son Christ. You were made to have a great relationship with God the Father and His Son Jesus Christ. You were made to reach your potential, and your potential is to be like God. Your potential is to reflect the glory of God. And you were made to live for eternity, yet you are wasting your potential in giving in to sins and passions and vices, and not cultivating the virtues and the fruit of the Spirit. So we have to get self-respect, because by sinning and giving in to passions, you don't have any or much self-respect, especially when it comes to things like pornography. I mean, that is a bad way to live. It's so low, because you were made for so much more. Same thing with envy. There you are, and you are envious of others because of who they are and the things they have. Yet why be envious? Even though you have a different personality compared with them, and even though you don't have things that they possess, still you are made in the image of God. And that means something. That means something, because being made in the image of God, you were made to be one with God and one with His Son, Jesus Christ. So why fool around with material objects when material objects won't last forever, but God lasts forever, and heaven lasts forever. And forever you will reign with Christ in glory. So don't fool around with sin and passions, because you are so much better than that. You are better than your sin. You are better than your passions. You are so much better than these things. You are better than vices. You are better than your bad attitude or bad thought life or bad habits. You are so much better than that. You are so much better than the pornography you watch. You are so much better than the envy that dominates your heart and mind. You are so much better than the petty hatred that exists in your heart. You are so much better than that. I mean, you are royalty. Every single human being is royalty, because every single human being is made in the image of God. And so we reflect God. So we are like statues of God. So God rules the universe. And so as human beings, we are supposed to rule, because we are like God. So we are rulers, just as He is the ultimate ruler. And likewise, God is love, and so we should love. And God's love is practical. He makes the sun to rise upon the just and the unjust, and He makes the rain fall for both the just and the unjust, and that's practical. So our love should be practical, and the Father is perfect in love, and so we should be perfect as our Father in heaven is perfect, and God is merciful. Therefore, we should be merciful. We should forgive and do good. And the Father is patient, and likewise we ought to be patient. And Christ is our standard. We should walk as he walked. And Christ was never judgmental of anyone. I mean, he accepted sinners as they were. So we shouldn't be judgmental. We should accept people as they are. And Christ was full of love. Therefore, we should be full of love. And Christ gave his time to others, and so we should give our time to others. And Christ was non-violent, and we should be non-violent. We should be people who don't offer resistance to evil. We should be non-violent. Somebody hits you on one cheek, turn to him the other cheek. So we have to be people of non-violence, as Christ was and is non-violent. So, we have the potential to reflect the glory of God and of his Son, as I have just said. And that is a great privilege. And so why are you messing around with sin and passions and worldly things when you were made for so much more, and when you were made to be so much better than you are? Because we are creatures of reason and virtue. That was God's intention when he created us. And so we were made to be so much better than we are when we sin and give into passions and vice. So we should have self-respect. So, and also part of self-respect is not doing things because everyone else is doing them. So, if you know people who take drugs, don't take drugs just because they take drugs. No, have some self-respect. Or if you have people in your life who are very, very happy about getting drunk, don't copy them. Don't get drunk because they get drunk. No, have some self-respect. Or if you know people in your life who smoke, don't copy them. Don't smoke just because they smoke. No, have self-respect. And especially when it comes to relationships. So we shouldn't be needy. Of course, in one sense, we are all needy because we all rely upon God and Christ. We are all dependent upon God the Father and his Son, Jesus Christ, because we are creatures and God is the creator and Christ is the creator. So we are dependent upon God and his Son for everything, for life itself, for material blessings and also salvation and holiness and sanctification and theosis. And so we rely upon God for everything. And when we sin and give in to passions, we desperately need God's forgiveness. We desperately need the forgiveness of Jesus Christ. So, in one sense, we are all needy, and no man and no woman is an island. We all rely upon others, even if you are some kind of monk or hermit. We all rely upon others. We are all in this world together. But in another sense, it's not good being needy. So you might say to yourself, why doesn't anyone love me? I mean, that is wrong. Instead of asking why no one loves you, you should love others. By being needy in that way, you don't have much or any self respect because you are just sitting there or standing there expecting others to love you, and you should stand up and love others. You should go up to others and love them. You should take the initiative. You should make the first move. You should be proactive. You should make things happen. True love always makes the first move. Yet there you are, and you are doing absolutely nothing. In fact, you're not doing absolutely nothing. The only thing you are doing is feeling sorry for yourself and wondering why it is that no one loves you. Have some self respect. Have some self respect. Don't ask yourself that question and feel sorry for yourself. If you are needy in that way and feel sorry for yourself, then you have little or no self respect. So get self respect, gain self respect, and be proactive. Make things happen. Don't feel sorry for yourself and be passive. True love isn't passive, it's active. And so don't be needy and never feel sorry for yourself. I mean, if you feel sorry for yourself, then you have no self respect or you have very little self respect. No, don't feel sorry for yourself. Get up and live your life. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Get self respect. And also, don't make excuses. Don't blame other people or the world for your life. Don't say that other people are to blame for your life and the way you live your life. No, you have to take responsibility. If you blame the world and blame everybody else and make excuses, then you have no self respect. You have little self respect. No, you have to take responsibility for yourself. You can't be a strong man or a strong woman if you blame everybody else for your life, or if you blame the world for your life, or if you blame God for your life, or if you keep on making excuses. No, take responsibility for where you are in life and actually do something about whatever it is in your life that is troubling you. So gain self-respect. Don't make excuses or pin the blame upon others. No, no, live your life, enjoy your life, live your life to the full. Don't mope, don't be all mopey and grumbling all the time. No, live your life, live it to the full, enjoy your life, make something of your life, because if you mope around and complain and grumble, then you are actually doing nothing. You are not living your life. You are just sitting or standing there or lying there complaining and doing nothing but complaining. No, get up. Get up, walk around, run, do things. Make something of your life and live your life for the glory of God. And especially when it comes to dating. Say for instance, you are a man talking to a woman, or you are a woman talking to a man. Don't be needy. What I mean by that is you shouldn't bombard that man or that woman with constant text messages or phone calls. No, you are being clingy. You are being insecure. Don't do that. Get self respect. Live your life, enjoy life, gain self respect. Don't bombard a man or a woman you are talking with messages, constant messages, or constant phone calls, or constant videos of yourself, or pictures of yourself. No, gain self respect, enjoy your life. Only text occasionally. No, don't text all of the time because it doesn't look good and you will never find anyone if you are clingy, if you are insecure. No, you have to get self respect. So don't be clingy or insecure or needy. No, live your life and enjoy your life and do things. Maybe you are interested in something. Well, enjoy your interest, or maybe you have a hobby. Enjoy your hobby, or maybe you have a skill. Enjoy and perfect the skill and do it for fun. Or maybe you are very into exercise. Well, exercise. Do things. Make something of your life. Learn. Expand your mind. Read. Be creative. Travel if you are able to. Live your life. Don't be clingy and insecure, because you won't impress a possible partner if you are just sending messages to them all of the time, or you are phoning them all of the time, or if you are sending videos of yourself all of the time, or if you are sending pictures of yourself all of the time, or if you are sending audio recordings of yourself all of the time. No, live your life. Live your life. Get self-respect. And same thing when it comes to self acceptance. Get self respect. Don't try to be like everybody else. No, you are you. You are unique. And so, why be like everybody else when you can be yourself? Get self respect. If you try to be like everybody else, then you don't have much or any self respect. No, you have to be comfortable in your own skin. You have to be comfortable with who you are. And so don't try to be like everybody else. Don't give up, what makes you unique. No, get self respect. So if you have an interest and nobody else has the interest, keep on with the interest. Or if you have a hobby and nobody else has the hobby, then keep on going with the hobby. Or if you have something that's quite unique, about your personality, don't get rid of it. Be happy with whatever it is that makes you unique personality-wise. So get self-respect, because if you are insecure about yourself, then you won't go anywhere in life. You won't go anywhere in life, and you won't have a very happy life. You won't have a fulfilled and satisfying life if you are insecure. No, be happy with who you are. I'm not saying be happy with sins and passions and vices. No, get rid of them. But whatever it is that makes you unique, that makes you slightly different from everybody else, be happy. Don't be insecure. Don't conform to the expectations of other people. No, no, you have to be, secure in your own identity. You have to be happy with, the person you are. So if you try to be like everybody else and you no longer have the interests or hobbies or skills that you used to have, then you have lost the thing that made you unique. So you have to get self-respect, and don't be clingy. Don't be clingy or insecure. Don't do that. If you don't like yourself, nobody else will like you. If you think that nobody loves you and you complain about it, then nobody will love you, because you are not taking the initiative and loving others first. You get what you give in. So if you love and take the initiative, then it is more likely that you will receive love. So don't be somebody who makes excuses, who pins the blame on others. Don't be clingy or needy. No, get self-respect, and don't fool around with sins, because if you fool around with sins, you don't have self-respect, because you were made for so much more. No, your sin shouldn't define you. Your passion, your vice shouldn't define you. No, you are defined only by who you are in Jesus Christ. And you are beautiful in His sight. And also, you are defined by the fact that you are made in the image of God. And that is a big thing indeed, being made in the image of God. So don't let sin or passions define you. And likewise, don't let the past define you. If you keep on thinking about the past, and if hate the past, and you keep on thinking about it in your mind, then you have no self-respect. If you had self-respect, you would move on from the past. So move on, have the courage to move on from the past, because if you are living in the past, if you let the past make you unhappy now in the present, then you have no self-respect. No, live in the present, live in the here and now. Live today while it is still today. Likewise, if you think about the future, if you imagine yourself as one day becoming famous or a celebrity, if that is your comfort, thinking about what might happen, then you have no self-respect, because you are living in a world that might never come into existence, because most likely you will never become famous. Yet you are living a fantasy life. So don't live in the future. No, live your life in the present. Get self-respect. Gain self-respect, by living in the present, because you don't have much or any self-respect if you are living a fantasy life. And the devil mocks us through our fantasies. The devil mocks us through our fantasies. So no, Get self-respect. Live in the present. And if people mock you, don't let it get to you. Don't think about people who have mistreated you. Don't think about people who have caused you pain. No, don't think about them. If you think about people from your past, people who have mistreated you and have caused you pain and who have insulted you and things, if you think about them, then you are allowing them to live in your head rent free. So they are dominating your life. No, get self respect. Don't think about people who cause you pain. Don't think about people who have caused you pain. No, no, you have to move on. Don't let people live in your head rent free. If you think about others in your past and that makes your life now unhappy or melancholy or sad, then you have no self respect. You have little self respect. So get self respect, have the courage to move on. And likewise, when it comes to loneliness, have self respect, because if you are lonely, especially at night and just before bed, then it's very easy for you to start thinking negatively. So you will say maybe that, well, I'm always going to be on my own. I'm always going to be friendless. I'm always going to be single. I have no charm. I don't have any charisma. My personality is not a very good one. So woe is me, because I am a nobody. I am a loser. That's why I am alone. That's why I live on my own. That's why I have nobody to talk to right now, because I am a loser. I am charmless. I am a boring person. I am not a very interesting person. So I am always going to be alone. I am always going to be alone. I am a loser. I am going nowhere in life. You might think that way when you are alone, especially at night, because I know how lonely, nighttime could be. Uh, I know how lonely night times could be. Uh, but you have to have self-respect. You have to be comfortable in your own company. You know, so if you are lonely, try not to think negatively. Yes, it's easier said than done, but it is something we can learn. I mean, it's easier said than done, yes, but we can learn it. We can learn it. So you have to be comfortable in your own company and don't think negatively. Accept the fact that you are single right now. Accept it, accept reality, and gain self-respect. Gain self-respect. So we have to have self-respect, because the only way we will live lives that are full and satisfying and to the glory of God is through gaining self-respect. Because you were made for so much more, yet you are playing around with things you shouldn't be playing with. You are giving in to sins and passions and failing to resist temptation. You are failing to cultivate virtues and the fruit of the Spirit, and you are insecure and needy. You are living in the past, or you are living in the future. You think negatively when you are alone. You keep bombarding the man or woman you are talking to on dating sites or whatever, and you are insecure. No, we have to gain self respect. We have to live for Jesus Christ and cultivate the virtues and become dispassionate. We have to live in the present and cherish every moment. We have to enjoy our lives. We have to be happy with who we are and gain self-acceptance. And we have to be proactive when it comes to love and not ask ourselves the question, why does nobody love me? No, you should love others. You know, so we have to be comfortable with ourselves and we have to gain self-respect. So because you were made for so much more. I mean, the battle is really a mental battle. Uh, so gain self-respect, gain self-respect. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Do pray for me. I'm praying for you. Praise be to Jesus. And please subscribe. Please subscribe. Peace be with you all. Amen. And remember, gain self-respect. Gain self-respect. Peace be with you all. Amen. I'm praying for you, so please pray for me. Peace be with you all. Amen.